Ha! You're still not married at your age? Sad for an older lady like you. Wow, still not married at your age? That's sad for someone like you. I met my ex-husband at a fancy Chinese restaurant. Even though he kept making mean jokes, we talked. Then my sister, who ran away to marry someone else, showed up. When my ex said he was going to marry her soon, I laughed at him. Didn't I mention? Feeling really good. My ex was surprised when I told him something surprising. I'm Michelle Smith. I'm 39 and married to Mike, who works in transportation. We met at work where I used to work in an office. I liked Mike's happy personality and I asked him out first. I liked how easygoing and strong he seemed. It was love at first sight. When I told him how I felt, he felt the same, and we got married in 6 months. He seemed nice while we were dating, but after we got married, he changed. He started saying mean things and treating me badly. I didn't expect married life to be so hard. Every day was sad, and I started to be afraid. Mike drives trucks, but he does local deliveries. I wish he was a long-distance driver so he would be away more, giving me some space. I'm really happy that Michelle married into our family. Mike hardly ever brought girlfriends home, so I was worried he'd never get married. This happened at a big family gathering during Thanksgiving at my in-laws' house. They are really nice people who care about me a lot. When we got married, they were so excited, like they had gained a daughter. I got along well with my mother-in-law, and my father-in-law was also very nice to me. One of the few good things about my tough married life was going out to eat with my in-laws. But then, in front of them, Mike started making fun of me. It happened during a family reunion. Must be nice, huh? Having a beauty like Michelle. Look at my wife. See that flabby belly of hers? A guy in the family started teasing his wife, and everyone laughed. Then my husband started making fun of me. What are you talking about, Uncle? Michelle looks so childish, hardly like a grown-up woman. Your wife looks way more graceful and grown-up. I was so surprised and hurt by what he said. The guy said, "Come on, stop it." But everyone thought it was funny. The only ones who looked worried were my in-laws. Michelle, go help my wife in the kitchen. My father-in-law saw I was upset and told me to go there to escape. I was grateful and went to the kitchen with my mother-in-law. I couldn't stop crying because of what happened. But my mother-in-law comforted me like she was my own mom. And my father-in-law told everyone off and made them apologize to me. They all said sorry, except for my husband, who was too drunk to care. Why should a husband have to say sorry to his wife? That's why Dad always gets made fun of by Mom. Can't you have some self-respect? And because of that, my husband and his dad started arguing. The family gathering ended early that day, and after that, my husband and his dad didn't get along anymore. I didn't go to my husband's family home much after that. Life after that was really hard. I lost the only thing that made me happy and started feeling weaker and more lost every day. Even simple tasks felt really hard, and whenever my husband remembered that day, he'd yell at me. You must have said something stupid to them. Because of you, I was embarrassed in front of everyone. What are you going to do about it? I was scared of his anger, so I was always on edge. We lived on the 10th floor of an apartment building, and sometimes I thought about jumping to escape my sadness. When you're really tired mentally, it's hard to make good decisions, and that's how I felt. It was then, during one of these sad moments, that my sister came to visit. You haven't talked to me lately, Michelle. You look really tired. My older sister, Catherine, who's 3 years older, used to work nights in her old job. She was really popular, probably because she looked younger than her age. It was unusual for her to visit without telling me first. Did something happen with your husband? My sister and I were really close when we were kids. When I got married, nobody was happier than her. She cried tears of joy and celebrated with me a lot. I just want everything to go away. Boo-goo, what's wrong? When Catherine saw how upset I was, tears started coming to my eyes as I told her about the tough situation with my husband. Every day, it felt like he was hurting me emotionally. It felt like being trapped in a prison, with lots of pain and sadness. Sometimes I thought about ending everything because it was all too much. Kath, when she heard all this, got really mad and said she was going to go yell at my husband right then and there. But I got even more scared just thinking about what might happen to me if she did. With tears on my face, I begged her not to talk to him. When she saw how scared I was, Catherine calmed down and started thinking of a plan. After a while, she seemed to get an idea. She looked really excited and whispered her plan to me. When I heard it, I was really surprised and asked if she was serious. "Do you really think that'll work?" "Who do you think I am?" Catherine said confidently. I trusted Catherine to make it work. But I was really worried about what might happen if her plan was found out. "Don't you want to get away from this and be free?" Seeing that I couldn't decide. Even then, Mike said some really unbelievable things to me. "You just want money, right? Do you want the house? I'll give you whatever you want, just let's end this." Mike made it clear in front of everyone that he didn't love me anymore. He seemed really eager to end our marriage, even if it meant paying a lot of money. The lawyer, feeling awkward, showed me how much money people usually get in these cases. "You don't really care about me, do you? I can tell where your heart is. You're thinking about someone else and who you want to be with." I felt defeated and agreed to the divorce terms. "Okay, but I want half of our stuff." He probably thinks he can just earn it back. Mike was happy and clueless about how things were going. But secretly, I smiled mysteriously, knowing the divorce was happening without him realizing. But even though I accepted it, Mike's parents were really against it. When we told them, they yelled at Mike and defended me. "What are you thinking? Michelle has been so good to us, and you're talking about divorcing her and being with someone else. You can't be serious." His mom, Tay, tried to talk sense into Mike, while his dad was really mad and scolded him. But Mike didn't seem to care about what they said. "It doesn't matter if you're okay with it or not." She already agreed. "You pushed her into this with your lawyers. They really didn't want us to divorce. They've always treated me like their own child, and the thought of us splitting up was really painful for them. I could feel how much they wanted us to stay together, and I felt bad for letting them down. I love them too. I would have loved to stay as their daughter if things hadn't turned out like this with Mike." I was filled with regret and couldn't stop crying. "People like you are so annoying. I'm done with her. I'm going to marry someone I really care about and be happy. Stop bothering me." Mike got really mad at his parents and started yelling back at them. They couldn't accept his decision, so they disowned him right there. Mike left his parents' house, apparently running away with his new girlfriend, and our divorce was finalized. 6 months later, I was having dinner at a fancy Chinese restaurant with my parents. "Isn't that Michelle?" The person who called out to me was Mike. I had gone outside to make a call and ran into him in the hallway. "Long time no see." "Didn't think you were still here," he said in a rude way. I must have looked disgusted. "What's with that look? If you have something to say, say it." He wasn't shouting because we were in public, but he still looked down at me with cold eyes. I tried to hold back my anger and turned away, acting all tough when you can't even stand up for yourself. "Did you find a new boyfriend after we split?" Mike made fun of me, sneering. "I only saw this side of him after we got married, and I wish I had seen it sooner. It's none of your business anymore." Without even checking if I was dating someone, Mike kept teasing me with his sly grin. "Still single? Pretty sad for an old lady." Mike looked at me like he had won at life even more after we split. I was about to say something when, "Oh, Michelle, Mike didn't expect to see you here." My sister Catherine walked in, talking to both of us. "Catherine, good timing. I was just going to tell Michelle something." Mike looked really pleased with himself as he put his arm around Catherine. I just stood there, not letting his actions bother me, watching calmly. "I wanted to tell her first that we're getting married," he said proudly, pulling Catherine even closer. I'd always thought he liked Catherine more than me, and now seeing them together with no feelings, Mike still didn't understand what was happening. He grinned smugly at me. "Sorry, I guess. I mean, I'll be living happily with her. But hey, you're not bad looking. Maybe if you try harder." "I'm sorry, Mike. I can't marry you," Catherine said gently, moving away from him. His face showed surprise, not understanding what she meant. I never liked you. Wait, what? What do you mean? Didn't she tell you? I couldn't help myself, teasing him as he looked confused. What do you mean, didn't tell me everything? Mike was caught off guard by Catherine and me planning to make sure we got divorced. As I walked over to my sister, we both smiled. Even then, Mike couldn't understand what was happening. His words were all mixed up. Was this all a joke? Thanks to Catherine, I got a lot of money from you in the divorce. I'm really thankful for that. Refusing his first offer for a divorce was part of our plan to get as much of his stuff as we could. It was all Catherine's idea. I wanted to get a divorce but didn't want Mike to get suspicious. So I went along with it. No way, Catherine wouldn't say that. Why not? Mike couldn't believe what I was saying. He kept talking, struggling to understand. I pretended to be confused and asked, why would Catherine say that? She said she's going to marry me. Well, if you took my joke so seriously, I was just doing my job entertaining you, Catherine said, pretending to be worried. She acted all innocent, touching her cheek and sighing. I only pretended to like you. I'm sorry if you got the wrong idea. So you were lying this whole time? For the past 6 months, you acted like you liked me. Mike tried to act tough, but it was kind of funny. Catherine laughed mockingly, pretending to be angry. Mike got really mad and started shouting, even though we were in a store. All those things about wanting to be with me and asking me to divorce Michelle were all lies. Who would want to be with you, an emotionally abusive husband? What did you say? My sister's words made Mike really angry. He started breathing heavily, getting ready to fight. I watched them carefully and quietly got my phone. Pretending to be married to Mike for 6 months was hard. But luckily, he's not very smart. I couldn't stay married to him. Actually, my sister was already married when I was with Mike. She has a husband who works as a bodyguard. To trick Mike, my sister said she was going to get a divorce too. Mike felt good because someone was chasing after him, and he thought he was better than everyone else. He fell right into my sister's trap. So, about waiting to get that divorce, that was obviously a lie. As you can see, my marriage is going well. Then, a man came up with a smile. Nice to meet you. Looks like my wife has been causing some trouble. You must be joking. This is my husband. I invited him here today to meet you, my sister said, happily linking arms with her husband. My ex-husband looked shocked, angry, and sad all at once. It's sad, isn't it? Wasting 6 months only to be kicked out of your own home. It's pitiful. My ex tried to grab me, but my brother-in-law stopped him easily. You know nothing about what I went through this past year trying to make this marriage work. Do you understand? I don't want to. You hurt people and act like you're better than everyone else. Do you know how much you hurt me? I was angry and crying as I finally let out all my frustrations. The way you treated me in front of our family, your attitude towards my family, everything about our marriage, I'll never forgive you. You're going to pay for it. Then I called out, come out, please. My ex's parents, my parents, and even his relatives came out. Now everyone can see how awful you are. I played a recording I got from my sister. It was my ex talking to her in a mean way. Are you really going to leave Michelle? Of course. I don't need someone who only does chores. I want someone mature and attractive like you. Everyone was disgusted by what he said. He tried to make a scene and stop the recording, but my brother-in-law stopped him. He held him back easily, making sure he couldn't do anything. She's so obedient. Just a little threat and she'll do whatever I say. She's more like a servant, someone I can get rid of any time. I don't care about her. His in-laws were angry after hearing how he treated me. Everyone there criticized him. You're a disgrace. How could you say those things about your wife? You're pathetic. I'm ashamed to call you family. Everyone looked at him with disgust. I spoke coldly. Nobody is on your side anymore. Stay away from her family. I never want to see you again. After publicly scolding him, I stopped the recording and asked my brother-in-law to kick him out. He tried to fight back, but it didn't work. He was thrown out forcefully. Then the store was closed, But my husband caused a scene outside, demanding to be let back in. Eventually, the police were called, and he was taken away. My sister and I high-fived each other, happy that we had gotten revenge on my husband. We celebrated by ordering food at the restaurant, and everyone sympathized with what I had been through. It was a good idea to reserve the whole place. Everyone could relax and enjoy themselves. My sister Catherine said. I thanked her for helping me and enjoyed a meal with her for the first time in a while. That's how I got back at my ex-husband. After that, it seemed like he was bothering Catherine, and he got in trouble with the police again. My brother-in-law Mike also gave him a taste of his own medicine. After that, my ex was too scared to show his face around my brother-in-law. 13 years have passed since then, and now I work with Catherine at her store. I still keep in touch with my ex-in-laws and sometimes have dinner with them. I'm grateful to Catherine for helping me. I'll repay her someday. With that in mind, today I'm going to work hard with Catherine.